Hey, my friends, I want to quickly talk a little bit about this idea that life is testing you. You know, sometimes we say, oh, God is testing me, universe is testing me, life is testing me. And the truth is that it is testing you. Because you became too comfortable in your own thinking about yourself, in your own beliefs about yourself, in your own habits, in your whole daily structure. And you've been made for so much more. And sometimes when we don't intentionally and willingly push ourselves to experience more, to create more, to become more, life will push you. It will push you because we are made to challenge ourselves, to see who we are on the other side of what we know. And that's why life tests us. All great ancient mystics, ancient teachers, alchemists, knew these things. They had a term, the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is not something dark or heavy. It's heavy because we have resistance to growth. We have resistance for our personal evolution because we rather hold on to what's familiar. We rather hold on to what's familiar and we avoid what's not familiar because we think there's a potential danger there. There's no danger other than losing what you know to gain something new. Nothing dangerous is in the unknown when you embrace that everything has a part to your own evolution. So you need to understand this. And yes, life will test you. You will lose finances, you will lose people, you will lose what you've gained. Only so you can experience more and eventually gain more, create more, and become more. This is the process. So people are so tightly holding on to the known because they've been too long living in this familiar territory of what they think that is okay for them. But well, it's only your ego, it's only your limiting mind. Your subconscious is this infinitely expanding force that wants to put some new knowledge to your consciousness, and usually it just doesn't happen other way than for us to be challenged to experience something new. And it's happening all the time. Like, you may get used to your job and suddenly your job gets upgraded. There's a new boss or a new coworker comes that's more enthusiastic and suddenly you're pushed aside. Or maybe you're a content creator and suddenly your algorithms change and suddenly your content is not as successful as it was. Or suddenly you start, I don't know, something changes in your business and you start making less money. And well, some people look at it as faith or as destiny. Oh yes, I was destined to fail. But from the other perspective, you've been destined. This plane was destined to fail. This is true. It was destined to fail. But it's not an end of this process. Now you're also destined to go through a whole recalibration. Firstly, to remember why you've started before it failed. So then you can put this why once again into the process and turn it into something bigger. You're meant to evolve. You see trees, they're expanding constantly. Their roots are growing deeper. And there's a saying, well, each storm makes trees grow deeper roots, because those who are not firmly grounded, wind comes and pulls them out, right? So you need to understand that, well, these storms of your lives are making you grow deeper roots, to be more grounded, to be more firm, and to make these things less important. They are not so big. Whatever it is, it's not so big. Look, here in community, we have people who've been homeless and are now entrepreneurs. We have artists who've been broke and are now succeeding. And we have people who've been through incredible health crisis and are now thriving in health. We have all kinds of people. And we still have, certain people who are like for 5 years writing, oh, nothing new is changing in my life. Yes, you need to make sure that you are the change that you wish to see. You just need to make sure that every single day you are becoming the change you wish to see. Stop avoiding stuff in your life. Notice, do you still want to to have it as a part of your life or no? If no, let it go. Leave it behind and move on. But don't stay at a place where you're avoiding things. That's what life is teaching you. Stop avoiding things. You can either ignore them, let them go, but don't avoid them. You have people in your life that you're avoiding too. Well, it's because there's something unfinished with them. You need to firstly finish or clarify inside of you what attachment you have to them, what connection you have with them, and really resolve it. Notice what's behind the pattern, why you still have this person in your life. And you will notice when you will clarify it, you will not hold any tension towards him or her anymore. Those are all the tests we are experiencing in our lives. And once we embrace them, we just recognize that everything becomes so much easier. When you see, oh, there's a financial crisis present in my life. Why? Well, because there's a much better way to make money in your life. Much easier way, most probably. Much more beneficial because it will provide you more growth, but you're not taking it. Why not? Well, because you're stuck in what you know. You're stuck in familiar. What if you would invest 1-2 years into financial education and you would find a whole new way? Like my brother decided, I don't want to work at a job that's boring and sucks. And he started investigating trading. He got himself into a community with a teacher. They've been constantly, learning processes of it. And now he's quite successful at it, maybe 2-3 years after. Those who've been studying finances during COVID, maybe the cryptocurrency, right now they're making millions on the market. So you see, it's all about how much we invest the challenging times of our lives into learning, into growth, into the process that is really transforming us into a greater version we can be. So yes, life is testing you. Also because there's a part of you that doesn't believe that God has your back. There's a part of you that doesn't believe that you are actually a particle of God. And the purpose of these tests is so this belief would be challenged. This belief that you don't believe that there's life force that has your back would be challenged. Actually, there is no life force that has your back because you are it. You are the life force that has your ego's back. And you need to recognize that you're not your ego. Ego is this lower identity you've developed so you would survive, but now you need to mature it. And to mature your ego means that you allow life to break it, to create these cracks through which new knowledge and new wisdom can enter into you and remind you of who you really are. You're not your ego. You're this life force that is expressing itself through ego. This is what Bruce Lee called the honest self-expression. That's what we need to learn. And this honest self-expression, well, you need to learn to be it in any challenge, to be it in any situation. So whatever is happening, you need to learn to channel it. So there are times when you will not be inspired. There are times you will not be motivated. There are times you will not feel aligned. And sometimes people say, yeah, I've been so much more spiritually evolved than I am today. And I always say, well, this is a false idea. You've been just more in alignment with certain beliefs than you are today because these beliefs were not really helping you much to create changes in your life, so you've stopped believing them and now you feel less evolved. So you've been not really evolved, you've been just holding on to certain beliefs that put you into a higher frequency and they didn't work for you to resolve what you haven't resolved yet. So actually, because of those beliefs, you've been avoiding something that is now chasing you. And that's why you've fallen into lower energy where you need to resolve these limiting beliefs you have towards you. So sometimes we use knowledge to avoid the real problems. And then at some point, this knowledge will become unvaluable for us because we recognize, well, these problems are still here and we haven't done anything with them. So you will go lower and you will be challenged by life so you can resolve it. And the way we resolve problems is to dive into them, stop avoiding them, and see how could you use what's happening at that particular moment as a certain type of inspiration that will push you into looking for new knowledge, looking for new information, not to really go from where you are to somewhere else, but to use where you are to become someone else. And with that, I want to say, well, let's say you have a financial struggle, like for most of your life you've been broke. It's because being broke is the most familiar to you. That's it. It's just the most familiar to you. The way you treat money is how you're used to treat money. The way you look up for opportunities is how you're used to look up for opportunities. The way you invest money is how you're used to invest money. Do you buy stuff or do you invest into stuff? It's a big difference. And many times if we're growing up being broke, most of the time, it's something I went through. It's just we're looking for the next flashy thing we'll buy instead of actually being patient while investing into something that will make us money. Like something I've learned later in my life, to actually invest into something that in few years makes money, not in few weeks or few months, but in few years we actually get the product of what we've done. And that is a big shift. So I've learned that while being broke, I need to take care of my money. I need to take care of my expenses. I need to take care of how much of percentage of this money I can actually invest. Is it 5%, 10%, whatever it is? And those are all tests. Like, are you willing to put something you've gained aside, be patient with it, and let it grow? Are you willing to do that? Because if you're not, you will never come to the point where you want to be. So it's about sacrifice. All these tests are teaching you to sacrifice something you know for the unknown. And well, only when you really love yourself, you will do it. Because, well, if you don't, you will stay attached to the comfort. And comfort is such a tricky thing. That's why we're doing workouts. That's why we're testing our strengths and our weaknesses. That's why we're going into ice cold water and doing these cold plunges and cold showers and things like that to test our limiting beliefs. My mind always says, every single day I'm doing this ice cold water therapy, where you go into ice cold water and you stay there for a few minutes and you go out and you see what happens. So the thing is, your mind says, oh, don't go there, you will die. But you go there, you breathe deeply, you come out and you're refreshed and you reckon, oh, I didn't die. So what happened? A belief died. A belief that was stopping me from stretching my boundaries died. So what happened? Well, now I know I can stretch myself, I can go further, I can experience more, I can become more, I can discern better from real knowledge and false limiting beliefs. That's why we go through tests. So more you're willingly testing yourself, less you will have these tests from life. But the thing is, we just don't know everything, so yeah, we need to move through tests, and unexpected tests will come our way. The point is that we see everything as part of the process, not something so big and so scary, but something completely natural. Like each winter season, you could say the nature, the trees, the plants are challenged. Like, will they survive or not? But they're just prepared for it. They know it's just a resting season. When your business is failing, it's just a season of change, and it's completely okay. Like, when you know there are seasons to everything, you're not in fight with it. You recognize it's a beautiful dance, yin yang, fire and water. It's a beautiful dance, and you need to see it as a part of your journey. Don't avoid anything. Face it, and you will come through it. That's how it works. So, my friends, I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you found some value today. And till next time, one love.